Today we're talking about walking and 3 reasons why walking will help you become the person that you've always wanted to be. Walking has never made any problem worse. I guess unless you had an injury, then walking could make it worse. But if you've had an emotional, mental problem that you are dealing with, walking probably will help you put some distance, literally, and also in general, between you and the issue that you're facing. Because walking is a great tactic to get outside, to be focused in the moment, and to kind of let everything else just fade away. And that is really the main thing we want in this new life of ours, in this Rewire and Refocus journey, is to step into this new version of ourselves. And what better way to do it than to literally walk into that version of yourself by taking this time to step away from the thing that is causing you this stress, this anxiety, this constant thinking. Take a moment to decide it's time to go outside. It's time to go for a walk. And when I am incorporating walking into my day-to-day, I have a lot less stress and a lot less anxiety about the things that I'm facing because of the fact that I'm outside, I'm moving, I'm seeing new things. I'm not in my room where this problem is probably being associated with. I'm in this space where I'm free and I'm moving and I get to be present. And those are just a few of the things that walking can do for you. But the bigger thing is this idea of recentering and refocusing on ourselves in that moment. Because when you're outside, you have to figure out when you're going to cross the street, who are you running into, how are you navigating this terrain. But it's not this most strenuous task, right, of figuring out where you're going to walk. Probably you've walked this place before, you know it well enough, you don't have to pay that much attention, but you're still paying a little bit of attention to your surroundings. But it gives you enough space to put distance between what you've been thinking about for hours, potentially, for days, for years, and just be present in the moment. And it'll also give you the space to think more clearly about what it is that you're thinking about, because the movement will put you in a different surrounding, which means you'll think about different things because you're not in the same place that you are usually when you think about this stuff. So it's giving you this distance and this space to explore different perspectives of this topic. And walking has been an important part of my life for many years. We're always walking, right? But we're not doing it intentionally, where we're setting aside time. Like, I'm gonna go for 15 minutes, walk around the block, however many times I get to 15 minutes. And in those 15 minutes, if I think about nothing, great. If I think up another solution, or if I become more okay with the problem, it gives you that freedom and that space. So consider it that way. And you can walk in the mornings, you can walk at nights, you can walk during lunch, you can do it whenever and wherever, which is why it's such an easy addition to our day-to-day to really explore ourselves. If you don't want to bring anyone else on that walk, and I would suggest that be your time as much as it can be. And if you want to walk with a partner or with a friend, or if you want to walk at another time with them, try to have some time for yourself where you're just decompressing and allowing yourself to breathe. How many times are we stressed about a topic and we keep thinking and thinking and thinking, and then we give ourselves just even the tiniest bit of room and we feel a lot lighter about the problem. We feel a lot clearer about what the solution could be. And that is really what the idea of this walk is to give you that space. Now, the second aspect of this, the second step, is leave the podcast and the music and your friend at home. Let them stay there. Let this be a time where you are just listening to your own thoughts. We're getting used to thinking to yourself about your own life, not thinking about anything, just being present in the moment. And if you're listening to a podcast or to music, it'll be a much higher level of distraction than you really want. Because if you can take the step to make some space, it'll be a lot easier for you to get reacquainted with what you're actually thinking and how you're feeling, and that distance to yourself will become a lot smaller because you're giving yourself the space to think about what it is that you're dealing with, to think about how you're feeling. Are you walking and something is hurting? Do you need to go do some stretching? Do you need to go work out more? Do you need to drink more water because this 5 minutes into this walk, you're so thirsty? It'll give you a chance to recalibrate with yourself and reevaluate, because you're like, all right, well, I do need to drink way more water during the day so that I have the ability to go out for this 15-minute walk and not have to carry a water bottle. The more things you have on you, the more things you're thinking about bringing with you, the more distracted you'll be. So if you can go for a walk that's a short enough distance that you don't need to bring water with you, that's also ideal, because the second you start having your phone and your keys and your water and all of this stuff with you, it is just distracting you from yourself. And try to see this as a time where you are stepping back and into yourself and what you want to do. You can bring a backpack and put all that in there. You can bring something where your phone's not directly on you. But if you can limit the amount of distractions you have around you, it'll help you step back into what it is that you're going through and what you're thinking, and just give you the space to breathe. That's really what most of us need to do, is just take a breath. Just take a breather. Just step into that moment. And we've talked about before not using the word just, except in certain situations, and this is that situation. That's the only thing. Just means only. The only thing you're trying to do is step back into yourself. Step into the present moment. Just be there. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to solve the world's problems. You don't need to solve every problem you've ever had in your life. You don't need to reevaluate all the trauma you went through as a child. All you have to do is be present in that moment and walk to the pool or walk to the post office, walk around the neighborhood. You don't have to do any grand movements. You don't need to go for a 7-hour walk and you'll be back the next day. You just need to be present in that moment and get reacquainted with yourself. How have you felt throughout the day, throughout the week? How are you progressing through certain things that are going through? You don't have to go out of your way to think about this. These thoughts may just come up, and that's okay. And whether they do or not, it's all exactly how it's supposed to be, because you're only there for you. You're trying to get rid of every distraction that you can, and it's you, your sneakers, and the road. And you're not trying to walk away from anything or anyone except for the person that you were just 10 minutes ago, because you are trying to step into this. And the more present you become, the less you have to try. This isn't about going out of your way, becoming this new person through sheer force. It is about stepping into it naturally, because these are things that you already do. You are already walking everywhere, but how mindfully are you doing it? How aware are you of your environment, of the people around you? I can't tell you how many times I see people wearing headphones and they're not aware of the people around them. The whole point of being outside and in the world is to be aware of your surroundings, partially because there's not every person has good intentions for you, but also to see what other people are doing, to see the world around you, to see how the trees have changed from the winter to the summer, to see how many cars are coming through, to look at the world around you, becoming aware, becoming present. Because at the end of the day, whatever version of ourselves we want to become, we have to become aware of who we are if we want to step into who we want to be. If we want to be a person who enjoys life and is excited about life, you have to start where you are. So be excited about seeing birds chase each other across the way, and seeing the chipmunk scurry off, or seeing birds fly. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to just be related to animals, but be excited about that. See the people who are running, see the people who are also on a walk. How present are they? Do you say hi to them? Like, how aware are you of the surroundings you're in? Because if you're not aware of where you are right now, when you get to this newest version of you, you're not going to be aware of it then either. So how will you even know that your life has changed, that you've transitioned, that you are in a different place? I've lived in many different places over this past year, And if I don't take the time to be present where I am when I'm there, and I'm just thinking about the next thing, or I'm only thinking about what I'm going to do next, I'm never really where I am. And that's how all of life will continue to go, quickly and not presently. You're not going to be present with your thoughts and your emotions and what you're feeling and how excited you are or how weird of a situation it is. I went to a stadium game the other week and it took us an hour to leave the stadium. We stood waiting for Uber for half an hour and then we had to walk 20 minutes to get to the Uber. And it was a crazy experience. But I could either be annoyed by it or I could just be present with it and be like, wow, that was really interesting. And, you know, if I'm not present in that moment, if I wasn't present at the game and I wasn't excited about all the different things, I wouldn't have as many good memories of it either. And that's what we're really doing throughout life, is collecting these memories, is collecting this different parts of our life so that we can look back and be excited about it. And if we can do that by simply walking, isn't that a great place to start and an easy place to implement it? So leave the phone, the podcast. You can take your phone, but don't listen to anything off of it. Save that for the car ride. Save that for other times where you're doing things that aren't about reconnecting with yourself. Whenever you're reconnecting with yourself, try to have that a distraction-free zone. Try to have that as a place where you can just connect to yourself, where you're present with what you're doing. When I am doing certain things, I won't even put music on, and I try not to listen to it as much because it is distracting. I'm not paying attention to my work or what I'm creating or what I'm doing. And I save it for the car or when I'm at a concert. This doesn't mean stop listening to music, but where are the places you can become more present by removing these distractions? And this doesn't mean never watch another thing or listen to something, but become aware of it. Do it with intention. If there is a certain playlist that you have at the gym, is there a way for you to switch it up? Or is there a way for you to really focus on what you're doing instead of just having this constant stream of noise around you? It's one of the things that we can really reestablish is removing this noise. There's constantly noise around us. If you're in an office, if you go to the store, if you go to a restaurant, there's people and there's constant influx of information visually, audibly, all around you. So if there's ways for you to center your focus onto what is around you and not being distracted additionally by the things that you're doing or importing, then it'll give you this greater sense of peace, which is our third one. That is really the goal of these walks, is to develop the sense of peace and quiet. And that's the big part of it, is the quiet. And it's not to eliminate anything, but to import intentionality, to have a reason why you're doing what you're doing when you're doing it. And it doesn't mean you need to sit there and think for 12 hours about every aspect that you've ever done or every detail of your life. It is about, how can I, in this moment, make the decision that is the best for me? And this doesn't have to be a huge conversation you have with yourself every time you make a choice. It is simply, how can I, in this current decision, make a better choice? It's not going to be the greatest one. That doesn't necessarily exist. But it is also what you do with it. If earlier today you were upset by something and you were just listening to your music that helps you feel in a better mood, great. You got to a better place, and that was the decision that you needed to make. And in this peace, you'll see that with peace, with acceptance comes peace. We have to accept that the people in our life are the way they are, that the people that we work with are the way that they are, our partners are the way that they are, and it is up to us to accept or remove those scenarios or those people or those events. And if you're saying, I can't just quit my job, all right, then in what ways can you accept this? How can you reduce the amount of time and energy spent in this direction? And how can you attain this sense of peace? And as you start walking more, as you start dedicating these 10 minutes a day somewhere, and this doesn't have to be a complicated walk all around the neighborhood and you have to go up and down every hill, just go around for 10 minutes, set a timer for 10 minutes, and then walk until it goes off. and then you walk back, and now you've been walking for 20 minutes. For 20 minutes, you've dedicated it for yourself. And if you can only dedicate actually 10 minutes, set a timer for 5 minutes. Walk in a direction for 5 minutes and then walk back. Give yourself the space, and as you start doing it more, you'll realize how you feel when you don't do it, when you don't give yourself this decompression mode, where you aren't giving yourself the space to reconnect back to you. You'll start to crave it, and you'll start to want more of it. So how can you import it into your life? Is it in the morning? Is it in the afternoon? Is it at night? And it doesn't matter when, you can shift it every day, but if you can import it in any way that you can, as much as you can. But the goal is to get out of your house. I work from home most of the time, so it is an active decision that I have to make to leave the house. A lot of people don't have this issue if they work at an office or have to go run errands and stuff, or have to go pick up their kids. They're forced to leave the house. But get yourself to leave the house intentionally for you, because you will start to want this sense of peace all the time. Because that's what we're really searching for. We can't really have happiness and joy and excitement all the time, because we know that there's going to be days where we're annoyed and sad and angry and just questioning everything. But we can always import this sense of peace, because we can tune out all these other things, and we can breathe in the moment and give ourselves the space to just be present. We've talked a lot about having space and intention. That's really how we're going to build this next life, is through these active decisions and choices. And whatever choices you made yesterday, you can build on them, you can change them. It's up to you. Every single time you make a choice is a chance for you to step into the person you want to be, or step further away. It's up to you. I hope you got something out of today's video. We'll be back very soon, and I hope you have an amazing week.